What's up, my comic comrades? A few weeks ago, the Joker War story wrapped up with Batman issue 100. And if you didn't get a chance to read it, we actually covered the entirety of the story here on the channel, which you could find right here or by clicking the link in the description. But since then, starting in issues 101 and 102, Batman has started dealing with the aftermath of his war with the Joker and the mayhem Joker unleashed on Gotham. However, the issue also has Batman coming head to head with a brand new villain slash anti-hero called the Ghostmaker. There's once again a lot of mystery around who the character is and where he came from, especially after learning that he apparently has known Batman since he was a teenager. So he's brand new to us, but not brand new to Bruce. So today we're gonna find out what answers these two issues give us. But before we dive in, we also want to remind all of you that today is the last day to get your hands on the Power Rangers issue 55 exclusive variant by artist Raf Grassetti. There are less than 30 slots left available, and you only have until tonight, November 15th at midnight PST, or until those spots are taken to lock in your order. So if you want to add this freaking epic exclusive to your collection and get all the other comic goodness in the mystery mail called November box, you need to jump on it right now. Just go to comictom101.com/variant for complete details and to grab one of the last remaining copies. And congrats to all of you who already picked one up. This is the first exclusive like this that we've offered, but it's not going to be the last. Again, go to comictom101.com/variant or click the link in the description. But with all that said, let's get into the Joker War aftermath and see what the Ghostmaker is all about. Batman 101 starts off with a classic shot of the bat signal over the Gotham City skyline, with Batman talking to someone saying, "I'm trying to remember Gotham City, how it used to feel." Not at the beginning, but when it was all working so well. We then get a gorgeous two-page spread of a classic Neil Adams looking Batman soaring with Robin over Gotham City, while Batman continues to say, "Remembering the times I'd be in the manor or in the office when I'd see the bat signal over Gotham City. You could blindfold me and drug me and I could always find my way to that old rooftop, and I know that Commissioner Jim Gordon would be waiting for me with a few clues that would start my hunt for whoever was terrorizing Gotham. Sooner than I could blink, I'd be on the case. Sometimes alone, sometimes with one of my partners, deciding the most likely suspect from hundreds of feet above the city streets. Which one of my foes was behind the latest attack. Soon after that, I would be in the Batcave with Alfred twisting my arm to eat or drink something to get some sleep. But I'd be right there at the edge of knowing that if I thought long and hard about each of the clues in front of me, I'd uncover the scale and source of the threat and resolve it." And that's how it would happen. Time and time again, I knew that every step of the way I could rely on that system, that structure. But now there's no Gordon and the bat signal. There's no Robin at my side. There's no Alfred in the cave. There's no approximating that old Gotham anymore. There's only remembering. As we see that he's saying all of this to Catwoman while they stand on gargoyles above the city. Catwoman then tells him, "You have that look on your face." Batman replies, "What look?" And she tells him, "You know exactly what look. It's insufferable. I can picture you making it sitting at the table with the Justice League. You've made a decision and it's gonna change both of our lives. It's the right decision and you know it, but you also know that it's gonna hurt. So I want you to say it." Batman says, "Selina," and she says, "No, say it. I want you to put it into words." Batman just looks at her before saying, "Joker is right," as he jumps off the gargoyle saying, "I've been doing this all wrong for longer than I care to admit." That's right, Batman just admitted that the Joker was right. Hell has officially frozen over. If you want to know what the Joker was right about, again, watch our videos on the Joker War, specifically the finale of the Joker War. The comic then takes us to 1 week ago, where we see Batman fighting Wildstorm character Grifter for the first time ever. This is actually pretty dope if you grew up reading 90s comics like myself. Anyway, we then get 2 awesome pages of Batman fighting Grifter. Batman even punched him so hard in the ribs, he broke one. And then at one point, Grifter pulls a gun on Batman, at which point Lucius Fox comes running out of the building saying, "Cash, that's enough." And Grifter says, "Yeah, okay, Fox." Fox says, "I told you I was expecting him." Grifter says, "Oh, that's right. Huh, I guess that slipped my mind." Grifter then looks at Batman saying, "I mostly just wanted to be able to say I did that once in my life. Can you blame me?" Batman replies, "Yes." And Grifter says, "Fair," while they continue to grill each other. So Grifter just wanted to be able to say he fought the Batman, and not only that, it seems like he wants to prove that he could beat the Batman. Lucius then tells Grifter, "If you can excuse us, my children will be arriving shortly. Please do not fight any of them." And he says, "You're the boss." While walking inside the building, Batman says, "You hired a bodyguard?" And Fox says, "I don't really think you can blame me for that. Do you know each other?" And Batman says he calls himself Grifter. Fox replies, "The price I'm paying to keep him on retainer, I suppose that name is appropriate. But it turns out I could afford it ever since your girlfriend made me one of the richest men on the planet." That's right, during this conversation we find out that Catwoman transferred all of Bruce's money to Lucius Fox, meaning he now has billions of dollars just sitting in his bank account. But more about that in a second. Fox tells Batman, "This city is changing faster than I've ever seen it." Batman replies, "I know. Joker's armies vanished overnight. People took their masks off and went home. and there's no way to know who they are. They could be our neighbors or friends or colleagues, and then some child seems to have taken it into his own hands to identify them and hunt them down. They're also calling an emergency election to replace the mayor. The city of tomorrow is going to look very different from the one today, and the Joker is still out there. Lucius then tells Batman, it's not just the city that's changing, you're going to need to change too. How you live and how you fund Batman. I have tens of billions of dollars sitting in cash in my bank account, and I have all the eyes in the world trained on it. I can give it back to you, but it wouldn't be like it was before. The government has its eyes on it now, Mr. Wayne. You're gonna need to account for every penny, and they will not go easy on you. You'll never be able to use any of it to fund Batman ever again. You remain under suspicion. Even if the rest of the board accepts that the Joker framed you, they feel that you've been negligent in allowing any of this to happen. Batman just responds saying, so a decision has been made? Fox says, the Wayne Enterprises board has suggested removing you from your seat, paying you a generous annual fee, and letting you fall from public eye, while the company rebrands and reassesses. We could fight it, and I'm willing to do it. Batman then replies, or I could let you keep the money. Fox replies, I'm not gonna pretend it doesn't benefit me or my family, Bruce, but there is an argument to be made. Lucius goes on to say, we've been the dominant corporate voice in this city for generations, but these new players are young and hungry, and they're not gonna be swayed by idealism. Wayne Enterprises means something. And Batman says, and by disassociating from me, it could still mean something. Fox then says, without the money, you'll be under far less scrutiny and you'll be able to continue to operate as Batman. But it will have to be a leaner Batman. No more rocket ships or satellites or sophisticated AI drones that know how you're gonna get punched before you do. You won't be able to print high-tech Batmobiles off an industrial printer beneath Wayne Enterprises. If you break a car, you'll need to fix it yourself. This is crazy. We're basically going back to Batman Year 1 status, where he didn't have a ton of super crazy gadgets yet. In any case, Lucius ultimately says, Batman, it's your family's company and your future. Whatever you decide, I support. It's your decision, Bruce. Then as Batman walks out of Lucius Fox's office, Grifter says, hey, no hard feelings, right? Think of it like sparring. Batman says, I want you to send a message to your boss. Grifter says, you were just talking to him. Feels like you're capable of sending your own message. Batman then says, tell him I know what Halo is. Tell him that it may be changing, but this is still my city, and I'm watching, as Grifter just stares at him with a dirty look. So it seems like to me that Lucius is working on something secret behind the scenes, and obviously Batman knows about it because Batman. My bet is Lucius is working on a new Batman, and his son is gonna be said new Batman. Which is why the comic made it a point to show that Lucius hired his sons to work for him. Anyway, after this, the comic brings us back to present, where Batman tells Catwoman he's gonna move into the city. He goes on to say, there's a brownstone I didn't even know I owned. If I'm gonna be operating more lo-fi, I'll need to do it from the inside, not from across the bridge. I lived in that house since I was born, Selina. It's my family's house. It's also where Alfred died. And without it, it's so empty and strange. So it looks like Batman is gonna let Lucius keep his money for the time being. That way he could still operate as Batman, just without all the endless resources. Anyway, Bruce goes on to tell Selina, it's time I started building a life without Alfred, rather than trying to force someone into that role. I need to see and feel the beating heart of the city. I need to figure out how to be alone without pushing everyone else away. And Catwoman says, except me. Batman then says, I need to ground myself, Selina. The city is about to get much more dangerous than it ever has before. I know Joker was right about that. I can't rely on my old systems. I have to develop an entirely new way of being Batman. And Selina says, and you can't do that with a partner who's one of the most wanted women in the city. And he essentially says, yes, before I could use my money to strong-arm you into high society, making people forget of your crimes. I even thought for a long time about creating you a new identity for you to live under with me. But obviously, Batman doesn't have all those billions of dollars in powers right now, so he can't do that. In the end, they end up agreeing to give each other 1 year to figure all this crap out. At which point, Catwoman says, then some decisions will need to be made on how to do this right, how we could actually be together. Batman then just says, Selina, and she says no. I think it's time you shut up, as she pulls him in, giving him a kiss. This finally brings us to issue 102, where Ghostmaker enters in earnest for the first time. The issue starts off with someone saying, I hate this city. I really do. You think it's all just personal, but I didn't know him when I first came here. I was a teenager looking to improve myself. It didn't take me long to realize I wasn't going to improve here. No one does. This city stinks of trash, sweat, urine, and blood. It stings in the nostrils. You never stop tasting iron in the air. Its buildings are garish monstrosities, twisted and strange. And now it all seems intertwined in scaffolding. I honestly believe that this city is driving each of you insane, but I suppose it has to for any of you to want to live here. If I had billions of dollars at my disposal, I'd pay each of you to move somewhere nice and burn it all to the ground so they could start over. That's what he should have done if he really cared about you. We then see someone tied up hanging upside down from the scaffolding saying, why are you saying all of this to me? What do you want? And on the next page, we see it's the Ghostmaker holding a sword to a tied up cop. And he tells the cop, my ghost net has already entangled its web deep into your computer systems. I've mapped key patterns of the city, and I'm gonna solve each of them for you. But right now there's a hole in your system, and that hole is named Clown Hunter, a child you seem to all be allowing to do your dirty work. You're gonna tell me everything I need to know to find and stop him. The cop then says, I'm not a dirty cop. You can't threaten me like this. That's not how you bats work. Ghostmaker then stabs him in the shoulder saying, do I look like a bat to you? I am the Ghostmaker. I am better than Batman, and I'm here to prove it. Now talk. We then see Batman talking to Oracle about a group of thugs called the Grinners. That's right, Barbara Gordon is Oracle once again. If you want to know how this happened, like I keep saying, watch our episodes on the Joker War. Anyway, she goes on to tell Batman most of the Grinners have partial face paralysis due to exposure to various Joker toxins. She then says most of the hired guns working for the costume set in Gotham float from boss to boss, but the Grinners are a bit too strange and lethal to rely on. Most have spent stretches in Arkham or other psychiatric hospitals. The Smile Bar has been their hangout spot of choice for years, going back to the Harley days. They tend to stay quiet during the lulls between Joker's big crimes. Batman then says, that's why I never shut this place down before. It's valuable to know exactly when they start getting ready for a big attack. Oracle then replies, that's a clever way of saying you already know everything I'm telling you, Batman. Don't make me guess my way through it. Why did you loop me in? Batman says, sometimes there are a few dozen of them, all armed, all eager to prove themselves to the Joker. I want eyes on the inside. Oracle replies, Lucius told you he won't be repairing your suits, and you don't want to do it yourself, do you? Batman then just says, Oracle. At which point she uploads a digital map of the inside of the bar that Batman is able to view inside of his cowl. Oracle then says, this is about the kid, isn't it? The clown hunter of the Narrows. You're trying to get rid of his targets before he can kill anyone else. Batman then says, keep the channel quiet, Oracle, while he kicks open the door. Once inside, he sees that everyone is dead, like brutally dead. Oracle then says, the map is on a loop. Damn it, we've been played. Get out of there, Batman. It's a trap. And he replies, no, it's a message, as he looks at a symbol on the wall saying, this is not Clown Hunter. This is something else. Oracle, deactivate computer systems now. Maintain radio silence until I contact you. I'll explain this when it's over. She's like, no, don't cut me out now. I can help you through this, whatever this is. Batman says, I'm sorry, Oracle, but this is personal. The comic then takes us to Dublin, Ireland many years ago, where we see a man thrown out of a window of a bar with a young Bruce Wayne coming out the window saying, I traveled a long way to find you. I was told that there is nobody on the planet who can wield a knife like you can. Teach me. The drunken man on the floor says, what the hell do you think you're doing? Young Bruce says, I needed to get your attention. You wouldn't listen in the bar. The man, while getting up, wiping the glass off of him, says, maybe I had a long day and I earned a pint and some silence. Bruce then tells him, your name is Tommy Tavane. You're wanted in 16 countries. The man then whips out his knives saying, do you got a death wish? Bruce then tells him, let me show you what I've already learned. I could prove to you that I'm a worthy pupil. But before the two could start fighting, a mysterious teenager shows up saying to Bruce and Tommy, he thinks he's better than you, Tommy. He thinks he's better than all of us. You can't take it personally, of course. It's in his nature. It's how he was raised. Bruce then just looks over and says, no. This mysterious teen continues talking, saying he's a spoiled brat, a rich American who cries himself to sleep at night thinking of his dead parents. He then says to Bruce, beat you again, Bruce. Go find your own knife expert. This one is mine. Bruce then starts charging him, saying, I swore that if I ever saw you again, I would break every bone in your body after what you did to our master in Morocco. The two then start fighting in the street, and this mysterious teen says, do you want this training? You want this teacher? Then you're gonna have to beat me, Bruce. That's how this works. Bruce then says, I know. Now shut up and fight me. And while they're fighting, Tommy looks on saying, I hate teenagers. Now obviously this is Ghostmaker when he was young, so apparently Bruce and Ghostmaker trained together for years during their teens, but that's all we really know as of now. But once we get his full origin, we'll definitely make an episode on it. We are then brought back to present day where Harley Quinn is leasing a crappy apartment, but unknown to her, Clown Hunter is watching from a rooftop across the street saying, oh look, that clown lady got herself an apartment. That's nice. She looks so happy. Somebody should really get her a housewarming present while they still have a chance. We then see that the Clown Hunter is looking at online videos on how to make a homemade rocket launcher, which he obviously plans to use to kill Harley Quinn. But as he's watching these videos on his phone, a voice says, I don't know, kid, seems like a good way to blow yourself up. We then see that the voice is coming from the Ghostmaker. Clown Hunter then tells him, are you reading my phone's mind? And he laughs saying, no, but my suit certainly is. Your search history is a real treat, I must say. Inspirational even. As always, the next generation blazes bold new trails through taboo. Clown Hunter replies, I don't think I like you. And Ghostmaker says, and you shouldn't, I'm afraid. You're about to blow up an apartment. You're a criminal. See, I don't come from a backward place like Gotham. I come from the world out there. And out there, we don't just throw our killers back into the water with the other fish. We gut them. Clown Hunter then says, yeah, really don't like you. And on the next page, we see Batman swooping in, punching Ghostmaker, saying, that makes two of us. Batman then stares at him saying, Ghostmaker. And Ghostmaker stares back saying, Batman. Batman then says, We had an agreement. This is my city. Ghostmaker then replies saying, then do your damn job. This city is rotting from the inside out, but you still won't do what needs to be done to save it. Why is this boy still on the streets, Batman? You could have locked him away or incapacitated him. Instead, you left him free to kill again. Even a city as awful as Gotham deserves better than you, as he tries to strike down Clown Hunter, but Batman blocks his sword with his gauntlet. Batman then tells Ghostmaker, I won't let you hurt the boy. And he replies, then we'll do it like we did when we were young. How about it, Batman? I'll fight you for it. He replies, I won't play a game for his life. And Ghostmaker says, you're missing the whole scale of this thing. I'm not saying the winner takes the boy, the winner takes Gotham, as the two lock up and the issue ends. I've said it before and I'll say it again. James Tynion is doing a fantastic job with the Batman title. I loved how issue 101 set up a whole new era for Batman, where he's finally moving into Gotham City, as he's always lived outside of Gotham City in Wayne Manor. And now he's kind of like back to the basics. Like I said earlier, almost like Batman Year One status. But now he can't use all of his money to fund his operations, so Batman's gonna have to be more ground level than ever. I'm just really excited to see a seasoned Batman without infinite resources. This is gonna be really fun. And then we have Ghostmaker. We don't know too much about him yet, but we do know he trained with Bruce in his teen years, and he's almost like a Ra's al Ghul type character, where he has good intentions, just wanting to save the good people and eradicate evil, but he's going about it the completely wrong way, acting as a judge, jury, and executioner, killing whoever does wrong. So as far as I could tell thus far, he's like a villain, but also like an anti-hero. Very curious to see how this character plays out the more we learn about him. But either way, it looks like James Tynion has co-created another awesome new Batman character. First we got the designer, then Punchline, and now the Clown Hunter and Ghostmaker. Very, very cool. He actually even co-created the Underbroker, a little more of a minor character, but a new character nonetheless. Basically what I'm saying is I'm enjoying the start of this brand new story arc titled Ghost Stories. Well, what are your thoughts? Let us know what you think of the Ghostmaker and this brand new direction for Batman down in the comments. First up for the week of the 11th, we have The Flash issue 765. Dr. Alchemy takes another step closer to unstoppable power and immortality, as he devises a way to combine himself with the power of the Philosopher's Stone. Here we have the Amazing Spider-Man issue 52. Kindred shows Spider-Man his true power, and Spidey sees how much trouble he's in. Now we have Strange Academy issue 5. The founding of the Strange Academy came with some gigantic risks, but so far the teachers and students haven't felt the sting of those risks. But that changes in this issue. Something horrible is bubbling up outside New Orleans, and the students of Strange Academy are gonna have to uncover an evil that they're not ready to handle. And finally we have Punchline issue 1. Spinning out of the pages of the Joker War comes the first solo series featuring Punchline. It's not shocking that this massively popular character already has her own series, and I for one am definitely gonna check it out. And just like that, my comic comrades, that brings today's episode to a close. But if you enjoy all of our videos, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like our channel, be sure to subscribe, comment, and like. It always helps us out. But other than that, I'll see your lovely faces next time when I talk about all things comics.